Could you talk about the challenge of it? Like the days where you're like, man, I can't quiet, or you can, but it's like a back and forth. Can you, because I want people to know, even, you know, again, people at the elite of the elite, you know, struggle with it some days. Not every day is like a perfect, I'm completely zen. So can you talk about the challenge of it?
Yeah, I'll even talk about the days when it's just like a complete like failure if you want. When you're just scrapped, you're like, I know I should be doing this, but I'm not gonna do this, and you just complete rebel. And then you're like, okay, cool, I'll probably feel it tomorrow, or like, like I won't sleep well tonight, or like whatever other consequence because of your decision, but every decision has a consequence. Um, so there's days like that as well. And I mean, it is what it is because, like I said, we're not perfect and that's going to be like that. But I think what makes you grow and makes you a better person is that you're having more days that you are following what you really want to be doing than aren't.
Yeah.
So those days, yeah, the days, I think you mentioned it earlier in this talk, that one day won't be as good as the next day. And all our days are actually not meant to be the same. Like my best today is not going to be the best as tomorrow. Like there's so many different factors that come into our lives that will affect that result, if you will.
Plus we
And
play a
then,
team sport, right? It's a team sport. So you,
exactly, it doesn't all depend on you.
like
It depends
it's not all
on,
you don't get to choose how everything goes. So there's so many variables that, you know, you're hitting on that thing for me that I think in the world of high performance sport, but we can, again, we can put it across all environments,
yeah.
is we, I think sometimes we romanticize how
Mm,
good even the best of the best are mentally. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean it actually
yeah.
in a more realistic way. It's
Hmm.
okay to have, we want to show up and be consistent, but the reality
Hmm.
is there's going to be fluctuation. And it's,
Yeah.
again, that fluctuation for me represents the different level of waves. And that one day is within itself its own. It, it's not yesterday, it's not tomorrow, it's
Hmm.
today's. And that's
Hmm.
all we're really trying to do. And then we're just trying to stack them together.
Yeah.
And so I love that aspect of you, like just being honest about how that can play out. But also it sounds like, and tell me if I'm wrong, that if you have a day where you say, you know what, I'm not doing it. Like I'm tired, I'm distracted, I want a break or whatever you might do, that then you allow yourself to have that day. And that day was whatever it was going to be, without it then being like, oh, that's also what my day is tomorrow, because it's not. You allow yourself to just have that day alone. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think an important part of all of this is giving yourself grace throughout the process because if that day comes and you're kind of in a spiral of shame about it because you like made the decision but you don't want to own up to the decision, that's going to be worse off than you just stepping up and being like, hey, I can't do it today, or I won't do it today. And then tomorrow you can have the fortitude to do it because you're not like holding some grudge against yourself and making yourself out to be a bad person because of what you did. It's more about,
Which is
hey,
self-judgment, right? That's
exactly
more
that
self-judgment
judgment
piled
that you're
on.
bringing.
Yep.
Yeah,
Not present because it happened the day before, right?
exactly. It's
Can't
already
change
done.
it.
Yeah, it's out of your control. Like the decision was your decision, but now that if it's past, it's done. It's out of your control, and you move on to the next thing. And I think that's a lot about what life is about. Like control the controllables, and when you make decisions, take the responsibility, bear out the consequences, but then also reap the rewards when you're doing what you need to do.
Um, all right. So connect it real quick, if you can. That idea of grace slash whatever happened today happened, but now it's time to move on. Take that to the court for me. How can you apply that same exact mindset, but now purely from a sport performance mind, in particular, your sport?
I think it is so integral in the world of basketball because I know I do this and I know so many of my teammates do this. And people who get to this level of sport or any level of sport, you kind of have this competitive, ambitious spirit of excellence. You want to do well, you want to get better. It's inherent in athletes, especially, and also like business people,
Hmm.
whatever world you're in. Like most people are trying to get better and do their best. So this
Yes.
applies anyway. But in the world of basketball, what does it serve me if I missed a shot and I'm dwelling on that shot? It's literally draining me of my time because I'm spending time thinking about it. It's draining me of my energy because I'm using my resources to like, I'm not in this moment anymore. And then the attention is there, it's not here. Like we said, when things are divided, we're neither here nor there. So I'm literally using up all my most precious resources in a game that is instantaneous. It changes from second to second to dwell on
Yep.
something that is out of my control because it already happened. Like it's completely like I was about to say some French word, inutile. It's like useless. It doesn't work at all. So this idea of like that happened, great, let it go. It's I in my mind I call it a quick pivot. This happened, on to the next thing. And it's just like training yourself to be like, okay, that's the reality. What's my next reality? What's next?